It was a stormy night in June 2000 when a young woman left her fiancé's house headed home. But somewhere along the dark, rain-soaked highway, she vanished without a trace. Her car was later found abandoned, with her belongings inside, yet she was nowhere to be found. Days later, her body was discovered in a nearby waterway, leaving her family and the community heartbroken and investigators puzzled. This is the story of Amanda Tusing. Hello, friends. My name is Marcia, and this is Midwest Murders. In the late 1990s and early 2000s, Jonesboro, Arkansas was a growing community with a blend of small-town charm and expanding urban development. Located in northeastern Arkansas, Jonesboro served as a regional hub for commerce, education, and healthcare. Arkansas State University played a significant role in the city's identity, attracting students from across the region. Despite its economic expansion, Jonesboro still retained a close-knit rural atmosphere where people generally felt safe and neighbors often knew one another. Violent crime, particularly involving young women, was relatively rare, which made Amanda's case especially unsettling. The weather also played a role in community concerns. Severe storms and tornadoes were common in northeastern Arkansas, particularly in spring and early summer. The night Amanda disappeared, localized heavy rain and stormy conditions created hazardous travel conditions, a detail that remains significant in the timeline of her case. Against this backdrop, Amanda's disappearance struck a nerve, reminding residents that even in seemingly safe communities, danger can still find its way in. Amanda Tusing, age 20, was the daughter of Ed and Susan Tusing. She had recently graduated from Mississippi County Community College in Blytheville and became engaged to her longtime boyfriend, 21-year-old Matthew Irvin. Amanda had just started working at Cato's veterinary office and was an active member of Delta Gamma Phi. She lived with her family in the small community of Dell, Arkansas, located about an hour east of Jonesboro. On June 12, 2000, at about 11:30 p.m., Amanda left Matthew's home on South Church Street in Jonesboro to make the hour-long drive back to her home in Dell. She was driving her black 1992 Pontiac Grand Am. While I could not confirm this through historical weather data, it was widely reported that Jonesboro had experienced significant rainfall and severe weather conditions that day, including some tornado activity. The storm's impact was reported to have been substantial, with over 100 trees downed and widespread power outages due to damaged power lines. These severe weather conditions contributed to hazardous travel and challenging circumstances in the region as Amanda was headed home. When he hadn't heard from Amanda by 1:30 a.m., Matthew called her home to check on her. Realizing that Amanda hadn't made it back home, he and Amanda's father agreed to drive from opposite ends towards each other along the same route Amanda would have taken. At about 3 a.m., just outside Manette, which would have been about the halfway point, Matthew found Amanda's car on Arkansas 18. Meeting up with Amanda's father in Manette, they called police. Amanda's wallet and cell phone was found inside her car, and the keys were in the ignition. There were no signs of foul play. The car started immediately, ruling out the theory that Amanda may have abandoned the vehicle due to mechanical failure. There was no indication she was forced off the road, and it appeared she'd pulled over voluntarily. The Arkansas State Police, Craighead County Sheriff's Department, the Arkansas Game and Fish Commission, along with local farmers, searched the surrounding area. No trace of Amanda was found. 4 days later, at about 3:30 in the afternoon, a local couple, Travis Davis and his wife Fonda, were driving slowly across the twin bridges on Highway 135 near the town of Lester, about 12 miles from where Amanda's car was found. It was again raining heavily and visibility was poor. As they crossed the bridge, Fonda spotted what she thought was a body clad in a pair of blue jeans floating downstream in the rain-swollen Big Bay drainage ditch. The couple got out of their car and began searching along the bank, where they found what appeared to be quite a bit of blood. They called police. Amanda's body was found about 50 yards east of the bridge. She was fully clothed. Amanda was pronounced dead at the scene by Craighead County Coroner Toby Emerson, and her body was taken to the state crime lab in Little Rock. An autopsy determined the cause of death was drowning. She had a small bruise on the side of her head, but the bruise was not indicative that she had been knocked out. It was determined she had been in the water about 3 or 4 days. Although there were no signs of obvious trauma, Due to the circumstances surrounding her disappearance, police ruled Amanda's death a homicide. Police found what they thought might be blood on the bridge over the Big Bay Ditch off Craighead County Road 928, about a mile southeast of where her body was found. It was so degraded that it could not be determined if it were human. As would be expected, Amanda's fiancé Matthew was initially a person of interest. He told police that on the day Amanda disappeared, the two of them had dinner with friends and then went back to his home and fell asleep watching TV. He was given 2 polygraph tests, passing both of them, and was immediately ruled out as a suspect. Friends, family, and fellow students were also questioned and eliminated. Funeral services were held at Dell Baptist Church under the direction of the Cobb Funeral Home. Amanda was laid to rest in the Elmwood Cemetery in Blytheville, Arkansas. In 2003, police received a tip that evidence may have been buried with Amanda. Her parents gave permission for her body to be exhumed. Unfortunately, no new evidence was found. This is certainly a complex case. I believe the reason for Amanda pulling over is the key to what happened to her. While the circumstances of Amanda's disappearance are mysterious, I do not believe anyone deliberately drowned her. I suspect whatever happened that night led to her ending up in the drainage ditch. Police believe she pulled over for someone perhaps posing as a police officer. This is a plausible theory, but there may also be other explanations for why she pulled over. For example, it's possible the weather conditions were poor, with heavy rain limiting visibility. There could have been an obstacle in the road, like a fallen tree branch or an injured animal, that caused her to stop. It's also possible she stopped to assist someone she believed was in trouble. Another plausible theory is that Amanda stopped simply because water was covering the road. In looking at the Big Bay Ditch near where her car was found, the ditch isn't very deep. If it were flooded, it could have easily covered the roadway. Could Amanda have simply pulled over because of the water-covered roadway, gotten out of her car to check things out, and simply fallen into the ditch? That would also explain why her keys and wallet were left inside the vehicle. She hadn't planned to be outside the car for long. I suspect one of these scenarios is more likely, and that the danger presented itself after she had pulled over. While police believe someone threw her in the drainage ditch, there was no evidence of defensive wounds as if she had tried to fight off an attacker. Ultimately, the most important question remains: what made Amanda get out of her car? The mystery surrounding the disappearance and death of Amanda Tusing continues to haunt those who knew her and those who are still searching for answers. Despite years of investigation, the questions surrounding her case remain. Was someone else responsible? Why did this tragedy occur in a place where safety was once assumed? Though the case remains unsolved, the search for truth continues, and the hope for justice endures. For the family, friends, and community, this is more than a story. It's a call to never forget, to never stop seeking answers. Each piece of evidence, no matter how small, brings us closer to understanding what happened that night. If you have any theories or thoughts concerning this case, please leave them in the comments below. Until next time, stay curious, stay vigilant, and may the truth reveal itself in the shadows.